What's up everybody, my name is Vincent. Welcome to Cryptolution, where we talk about everything under the moon in the crypto universe. Today's Friday, January 2nd. Now in today's dog video, you may have noticed that dog is up around 9.2% in the past 24 hours. Now mainly in this video, I want to talk about a breakout that I brought up yesterday and has actually shown up today, and that is regarding the dog price being above the 20-day moving average. Now why is this really important, and what could we see next happening for dog Bitcoin? Well, we have to look at the overall macro market, because the macro market could tell us possibly what's going to happen with the memecoin market sector that obviously will pay tribute to dog Bitcoin. So I want you all to just place your emotions aside. We want to focus on only data. No matter how bullish you are, no matter how euphoric or FOMO-y you are, just make sure to just focus on data. So let's get right into it. Let's not waste any time. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join us on X. Please be careful with any of the scammers down in the comments below. I'll never reach out via WhatsApp, Telegram, direct messaging, or email, so please be careful and invest safely. Guys and girls, let's get right into it. So as you can see, we have roughly around $2.7 million in trading volume. We did hit close to around 110 million market cap. Yep, that actually happened just as of this morning. We're taking a slight pullback, but that's also mainly due to Bitcoin's price, because Bitcoin actually went up from roughly around 87,000 to 90,000. So when you saw that dog dip recently on the chart in the previous slide, it's because also Bitcoin's taking a dip right now. So this is completely normal, but this could be due to a lot of different things. So let's focus on those issues. So apparently today's pump could be due to the fact that shorts got liquidated, but it's only roughly 100 million in the past 60 minutes. And 100 million doesn't really shake up the market that much, but maybe it's other news. Maybe it's this one. But what's really interesting is that the open interest for Bitcoin is actually going up while the funding rate is actually going down. So whoever's shorting Bitcoin right now could be doing us a favor by getting liquidated and helping the Bitcoin price go up, helping the long positions do very well. But could it be something like this, where people are saying whales are bought roughly $23 billion worth of Bitcoin in the past few weeks, when that's not entirely true? Because what we're seeing is that these recent whales that have been buying in actually haven't been whales buying a ton of Bitcoin. It's actually long-term holders that have their Bitcoin holdings mature ever since the summer of 2025. But nonetheless, you're still starting to see Bybit, OKX, Wintermute, Bitfinex, all these different exchanges and market makers, they are pumping millions of dollars due to this meeting that's happening today with the Fed. And the Fed actually announced that the PMI data fell lower than expected. So this is also something regarding the Fed. So recently they had a surge on their balance sheet to around $24 billion in the week ending on December 24th. This is their largest jump since March of 2023, since the banking crisis, if you remember that. Now this is apparently the marking of a third consecutive weekly increase for a total of $45 billion. And as a result, the Fed's total assets are up $6.5 trillion, the highest since the end of October. But they're buying these treasury bills. And as you can see, this is the time that they're buying the treasury bills. And the last time we saw something like this was back in 2023 during the banking crisis. Now, this to me shows that quantitative easing is definitely at play, meaning the money printer is going on. They need to pump money into the system, and also they're pumping more money into the banks, making sure that there is injection of liquidity ready for the banks to help save the stock market and make sure the stock market doesn't crumble. But let's not forget, we do have the Clarity Act, which is pretty much the crypto market structure legislation. And that should hopefully be voted within the month of January. That could be very positive for crypto. Now, why do we need something like the Clarity Act? Well, it's because, like Kevin O'Leary, who is part of the Shark Tank team, and honestly, take this for what it's worth, but he says once this market structure bill is passed, and trillions of dollars will flow into Bitcoin. Now, Kevin O'Leary, I know how people feel about him. He is not really the best in terms of crypto predictions, but he does have a point here. And why is this? It's because the crypto market structure bill does allow the SEC and the Commodities Futures Trading Commission, aka the CFTC, to decide who's going to have oversight and clarification within crypto. Because right now it's going back and forth. No one really knows which department is going to focus on which sector. So this is going to help reduce a lot of the volatility within the crypto market, especially like market makers such as Wintermute and exchanges like Binance completely manipulating the price to liquidate shorts, to liquidate longs. It's just hopefully going to be over when this bill is passed. So please enjoy the volatility, because it won't last long until this structure bill is going to be passed. But then you're starting to see other narratives regarding the memecoin market. So Cointelegraph just notified everybody that Pepe and Bonk saw double digits in terms of their market cap, increasing to a $3 billion market cap in general. So this is potentially reviving talks of a potential meme coin season coming back. And could we see that happen? Well, if you look over into the meme coin sector, right now we're about $47 billion total market cap. Just yesterday, we were at $44 billion. So when you scroll down to where we've been, remember when the Trump token launched? We were at $100 billion and higher before the Trump meme token was launched. This was the entire meme coin sector. Right now, we're right below that $40 billion. And if you notice, in the past 7 days, we've seen an increase of percentage gains in the entire meme coin sector. Look at this. This is crazy. Now, let's go into the meme coin sector. Because right now, Dog Bitcoin is at a 251 ranking. So this is actually pretty good. And as you can see, the whole market sector within meme coins is actually doing quite well. And to me, this isn't just positive for Dog. This is positive for the entire meme coin sector. But to me, Dog has more upside because all these other meme coins have already had their narratives. They've already been oversaturated. They've been completely burned out. Dog Bitcoin and the Bitcoin meme coins is a new narrative. So if you ever catch on to early signals, this is one of those times when you're watching this video that I'm telling you this is the time that Bitcoin meme coins are going to blossom in 2026. So yesterday I ended up posting this image that I thought I really wanted everybody to just know. And that is regarding the Dog price, because what I was noticing is that the Dog price, like I said before, was bouncing off this 100 million resistance level. But what we needed was the Dog price to be above the 20-day moving average, which is this green line. Now, what does that actually confirm? Well, if we can confirm that the candle is going to be above that and close, by the way, above the 20-day moving average, then we have something going on. Now, let's go into today. What has happened? It has exactly played out as we wanted. So as of right now, the daily close candle hasn't happened yet. But if it does happen and it closes above the 20-day moving average, that's actually very bullish in the short term. Now, what do we need to see? We actually need to see more green candles closing above the 50-day moving average, which is this green line. Now, what have we seen in the past with the Dog price, and how's that actually played out? Well, if you see here, we've actually bounced off the 20-day moving average quite a few times, which you can see here, 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 and here. But when have we had fake outs? Well, check this out. We've seen this Dog price. The Dog price broke above the 20-day moving average and the 50-day moving average right over here, but it fell right back down. And this was a huge liquidation event. Remember October 10th? That was when the entire crypto market took a huge capitulation. Then we can see back over here, the Dog price did go above the 20-day moving average, not above the 50-day, but above the 20-day moving average, but it was a fake out. So we definitely need to see the Dog price above the 20-day, which it is right now, but also the 50-day. And hopefully it could be above the 50-day in the next coming days, the next week. If we see that happen, then that means we have a bullish reversal. Now, the reason I can confidently say that is because look at this MACD. Okay, the MACD has shown us ever since August of 2025 that the Dog price has been seeing weakening selling pressure ever since August. And eventually it's got to break out into the buyer's market, because once it gets into the buyer's market dominance, then you'll start to see larger green candles. Of course, there'll be some retracements every now and then. Now, just look at the past. Every single time that we see the MACD trending upwards, this yellow trend line, you're kind of seeing it happen within the Dog price. Because even though right here with the Dog price being down, once we climb up and we get out of the seller's market, which is right around here, you start to see this huge buying volume, which happens to be reflective exactly right here. The same thing could be happening right over here, where we saw a bear market bottom, and then we started to trend slightly upwards until there was a breakout right around here into the buyer's market. What do you think happened to the Dog price? The exact same thing. So what are we seeing here? It's kind of happening again, where the Dog price is seeing weakening selling pressure, and eventually it's going to have a breakout. Now, anything could happen within the crypto market. Maybe we could experience a black swan event where things go back down again. I don't exactly know. But this is just what I'm seeing. This is just what I'm seeing in terms of data. And data can only tell you so much, because even though data can't predict the future, it can help you give some insight of where we're headed. But we do have a potential government shutdown, which could be happening on January 31st. But what if we had the Clarity Act pass before January? This is all something that could play out really quickly. And what we cannot forget is what happens with dog themed meme coins. Because as I mentioned before, with dog themed meme coins, Dogecoin, Bonk, Floki, Shiba Inu, Dog with Hat, they roughly have parabola events that could take roughly between 21 days as high roughly around 94 days. But really, it could happen within just a month or two. That's how fast these God candles happen for these specific coins. And there's always that time that these dog coins are dead before the parabola event. And so you're seeing it happen right now with dog Bitcoin. So what's the last thing I want to share with you? Well, it's something that Leonidas shared. And that is that if you just put $1,000 in dog today, that when dog goes to $1, that would be roughly $1 million in ROI. Now, dog to $1 is a $100 billion market cap for dog Bitcoin. Is that too hard to believe? I don't actually think so. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I just want to share with you everything in terms of charting and analysis, data, and everything that's happening in the macro market. But the most important thing is that you have to remove your emotions. As much as you're feeling very bullish, we need to see these specific signals happen within the charting of dog. For me, I'm always focused on data. I don't use my emotional indicators to determine what's going to happen. I always buy these dips, and absolutely, this is the time to be buying these dips. But do not buy when this thing is pumping. Do not do that. That's the wrong way to go. The whole point of training your muscle in your mind, your brain muscle, is to buy dips and sell during these massive pumps. But right now, the entire market within meme coins is down 80 to 90%. This is the time to be buying as much as you can. Until we get to 1 billion and higher, that's the time to be thinking about taking maybe 5%, 10%, 20% here and there, and keeping your moon bag set aside to ride the rally, if that makes sense. But let me know your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear your strategies and what you think could happen to the dog price. Could we see the dog candle close above the 20-day and 50-day moving average by the end of this week? Because if it does, that is going to be a huge bullish signal. So let me know your thoughts down below, and I cannot wait to read them. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join us on X to receive all of our alpha calls and updates regarding Dog of the Moon. Till then, see you guys girls next time.